Hello and welcome to the PhotoVidShow tutorials version 4.41. In today's tutorial we're going to talk about filters. So let's begin. Here we have my simple holiday slideshow, and I've created a slide here. As you can see, I've created a slide here with 3 pictures in it. I've played around and changed the outline mask to it, and I've adjusted the pan and zoom to pan zoom on all, so when I preview it, it looks a bit like that now. So I want to create a slide something like this, and what I want to do is, at the moment it looks sort of very much white and just the colours that came with the original photos. I want to add some sort of filter effects. This is like to change the colour of things, to add blurring, or maybe I want to add an old film effect to it or something like that. All that is covered in filters. So to add filters, if you like, to a slide, you left click the slide and left click the filters tab on the left. Now at the top here, PhotoVidShow offers many different filters. Really they're broken down into 3 types. You've got these sort of green star ones here, which are sort of colour adjust ones. If we go to select the Sepia one here, you can see it's sort of applied this sort of brownish tinge to my slide, so that's nice. So if I like any of my filters, I can add them here, which I'm going to do. The other types of filters you've got are texture ones, just like these ones here with the pen shapes here, or we got video textures as well, which are these ones here. So what PhotoVidShow allows you to do is to add as many filters as you want to your slide. Now these filters apply to the whole slide, okay? They're not individual pictures inside the slide. All the filters here literally applies to everything you see in the slide. Okay, so that's important. Some other filters here will have settings. So if I added a just color filter, for example, you can see I can actually set some various settings here. See, so say I wanted to adjust the color of my, I could do that. So some of these filters also have additional settings. I'm not going to use that one. So let's show what sort of things we've got here. If I remove that sepia one for a second, say it's a bit plain colour here. Say I wanted to add a colour mix one. Some of these are quite nice. If you add colour mix 24, now if you look, it's given it a more sort of lighting effect, more lighting and shadow type effect, whereas before it was just plain white. Whereas I've had that, it's kind of given it a nice effect there, so I like that one. Perhaps I want some perhaps I want a blur effect. Now a nice blur effect is a lens blur, which is this option here, which just applies the blurring around the side. So further it is around the edges, the blur it is, but in the middle it's sharper. So we'll just apply a soft one of those just to give it a nice kind of lens effect. So you can see every time you add a filter, it adds them in here. The order of the filters applied are important. We'll come to that in a minute. So we'll add that sepia one back in, and perhaps we'll add one more. We'll add a video one, the flash one. Here we go. There we go. So there's a flash effect. There we go. So there we go. So we're happy with those filters. Now if you look, the flash has a little bit colour to it. Maybe we want to change that. So if you can see here, this is the filters listed here are really the order they are applied in. If you click on order layers here, you can see this can tell you in a bit more detail. This really describes how your slide is presented and the order things order happen. So what this is saying is that when this slide is previewed here, it draws your 3 images, which are these things here, then it applies the colour mix, then it applies the blur, then it applies the sepia effect, then it applies the flash. Because the flash was applied after the sepia, it's not had that brown tinge to it. So if I move that down the layer, you can see it's now added the brown effect to that. If you can see, if I actually move one of these pictures to the top, you can see it hasn't applied anything to it. So it's like none of the filters are applied to it. So maybe we want that. I don't know. So there we go. We got some filter effects going on now. Let's put that back out was, and let's move that back down. If we don't like a filter, for example, maybe I'll add another one called light leaks to it. You know, there's just too much going on now. So if I added that by mistake, I could then select there and remove it, like so. So we're happy with that. As you can see, you can apply filters to any slides, even ones which you've already applied a template to. So even if I've applied a template to some of these ones here, you can still add filters. The way you can tell this is if it says if it's editable. There we go. If the template design says it's editable, that means you can add extra effects to it. So if we had this effect here, well, that isn't editable, so that's no good. Say this. So we're going to apply that one. Say we had that template, then you can still add filters to that, even though we've say we want to make that monotone or something like that. We can see, and perhaps we wanted to add that light leaks video I said there. There we go. You can play with this until you're happy. Or an old film effect. Here we go. There we go. So you can see, even if you've got a template design, often you can still apply filters to them. Okay, I hope I've showed you a lot about filters. There's a lot here to choose from. Just go through them all and see which ones you like or which ones you don't like. There's lots of very good effects you can use here. And I'll see you soon for the next tutorial.